Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.
Hi everyone, CeeChronicles here. Welcome to my channel. I post fragrance related content and would very much appreciate it if you did consider subscribing and joining the family. To those who are returning and continue to support this channel, thank you very much. I have two Afnans in front of me here, which is Rare Passion and Rare Tiffany. We are going to center more on Rare Passion because we have a full review of Rare Tiffany. However, why I have it here is for those who may want just one sit down video. So I'm going to tell you my thoughts about the two within the video, but it's mostly about this one today. All right, so Rare Passion looks like this, exactly like Rare Tiffany, and there is another one, Rare Carbon, but that one is for men, right? So this Rare Passion is from the house of Afnan, and this is the atomizer. I actually quite like the atomizer, right? And my thoughts on this fragrance, guys, first impressions when I got it about 6 weeks ago was strange, right? And I think Afnan in a way is one of those companies that really do not do the obvious, okay? And I'm saying it deliberately, picking this one up, because what I got from this is kind of what I got from this. And I'm not saying these two are a continuation of each other. I'm just saying when I sprayed Rare Tiffany, I was like, hey, hang on a minute. It was a fragrance that I needed to adapt to, which is something that's going to happen with this one. But this one is a little bit on the opposite when it comes to how daring this one is, okay? So we're not yet comparing. I'm just giving you like a heads up. This one is built around musk, a lot of musk, right? You're going to get a powdery feel in this fragrance. Something is going to come off as baby powderish, okay? Double dose of musk. It's going to give you a citrus tone to it. There is an orange blossom here, and I think it is the orange blossom mix that is a little bit strange. It comes across as animalic. It comes across as, I don't know. It just comes off with like something there that bounces off like a toothpastey kind of nuance, right? But no, this is not the end of it. This is just how it opens. I'm just trying to give you as visual and mental shortcut as I can, that there is something in here that can borderline be annoying. And I found it a little bit annoying when I sprayed this for the very first time. It is one fragrance that turns, okay, it meanders, right? But the meandering takes a long time. This opening that I'm talking about, that is weird, that is animalic, this orange blossom that is a little bit strange, a little bit of some woods in this fragrance, coming across as dry, a semi-sweet fragrance, a sweetness that I would attribute to like a grown sweetness. Like I wouldn't say a young person would call this sweet per se. This is not the sweet sort of fragrance going like for the young at heart, if you know what I mean. It kind of gives me like a mature wrap up to this sweetness. That is what this fragrance is all about. You're gonna get a floral nuance in this, rosy, if you will, but it is definitely centered on a powder, right? Like a musky powder. And it is that musky powderiness and oddness of this fragrance that actually made me pull this one out, okay? Not for the review. For the review, I was actually going to bring the two of them just to clue you up, but it is that powderiness and the musky weight in this that made me think, feels as though there's something missing. Should I layer it with this and see? Because it kind of feels, it just gave me that vibe that this will probably neutralize this, right? Because talking of Rare Tiffany, don't let looks fool you. This is a beast mode, pushy, heady style of fragrance that 5 sprays may be a little bit too much, especially in the heat there. It is definitely for beast mode lovers and comes across pretty odd. This one is a yellow and white floral, with that yellow floral being ylang. Ylang is more enjoyable when it interprets like banana-y, but in this case it's a sour ylang, and the sour ylang meets a green jasmine, it meets a greenish rose as well, some sandalwood, vanilla, but it becomes about an aldehydic sour style of grown fragrance, this particular one. So it was the oddness in this. and the oddness in this that made me think, wait a minute, I'm not saying they're built for each other, but should I use the musk in here to maybe tame here and see what happens? And yes, the magic happened. Okay, so yes, you can layer these together, but they do not vibe the same. The two fragrances to my nose feel as though these are DNAs that are uniquely to Afnan. It doesn't feel like they were going after any particular DNA on the market, and that is the impression I got, because this one was the first one that I purchased, and I couldn't even liken it to anything. In fact, the only thing I did remember saying in that review was, if you like fragrances built around aldehydes, you're going to like this, which is like the Chanel No. 5s and stuff. But this is nowhere near Chanel No. 5. Nothing to do with Chanel No. 5. It just feels like a creative creation where Afnan went into their lab and then, possibly came up with this, and it gets stronger and heady with time. The same impression I get from this one. Now, with this one, there is a little bit of familiarity there, just a little bit, where when you smell it there, it does feel like, like something that you could adapt to. Weirdly enough, in as much as it's not pushy or as pushy as this, weirdly enough, it lingers. It lingers all through, giving you twists and turns, and right at the end there, when you think, okay, I think I'm done with this fragrance, especially, because I've worn it like maybe 6-7 hours straight, you start to get wafts of something that I get from Gucci. What's the name of that Gucci plastic one? That one that feels like a Bobby doll head, that Gucci red one. Okay, I'll put it on the side when it comes to me. This fragrance does not vibe like that from start to finish. It's right at the end of right at the end of its wear, like when it's really fading, and you start to feel, nuances or something that's familiar to that Bobby doll head synthetic weight in this fragrance, which is something that I can attribute to that Gucci. I think it's been discontinued, if I'm not mistaken, the square one that comes in a plastic. Some people call that plastic tacky, but I don't have a problem with how the bottle looks. So you're gonna get wafts of that in the end, but this does not start off as juvenile. So having said that, don't rush for that and say, oh, okay, we've got a good, I think it's Gucci Rush, if I'm not mistaken. We've got a Gucci Rush thing. Because the Gucci Rush thing that I'm talking about is something that happens way later, like 5, even 6 hours in. You sniff it like this, you're like, no, there's a synthetic accord here, orange blossom mixing maybe with a citrus or whatever, turning and bouncing off as now synthetic than it is animalic, that then this fragrance then becomes something that you think, this is quite enjoyable. Okay, so far from what I thought it would be. I thought it would be a fragrance maybe the same vein as those Orianas, or a very fruity, vivid fruity style of scent. That is not what you're going to get. Expect a lot of soapiness here. Expect a mature fragrance. Expect an adaptable fragrance. This is a grown fragrance to my nose, and expect a semi-sweetness. Don't expect a sweet fragrance in this, okay? It's not going to come across as sweet, but it does feel in its overdose of the muskiness as a fragrance that you really don't need to layer. I was just giving you Rare Tiffany as an example to say, okay, I do have Rare Tiffany in my collection, and I tried the two to see, if they would work, and this one kind of tamed what I feel is a little bit pushy in this fragrance. And if you have this fragrance, you'll know exactly that pushy thing that I'm talking about, that this yellow floral is not joking. It does have all the nice notes you can think of. The sandalwood is here in this one, but it just becomes somewhat of a don't dare me style of fragrance, where it can borderline do too much, especially if you wear it, in the heat, or you underrate it and then just go all in and spray your entire body, 20-30 sprays, and then you think, oh my God, what have I done? That is what this fragrance is like. It's the sort of fragrance that you might actually find yourself scrubbing off or even going to take a bath, because it's pushy, but it's enjoyable. It's a very unique, different DNA that, say you went to a mall, it's not like you're going to meet another 30 people smelling like this, if you know what I mean. Both of them, guys, feel to my nose as though they are Afnan's standalone fragrances. I would love to keep on exploring the house of Afnan, and what I'm doing with the house of Afnan is I'm just adding them, bit in dribs and drabs. tips. As I get some coins there, I add them, because the Afnans are not exactly on the affordable side, and granted, they're fragrances that are of good quality. So yeah, that is what I can say, guys, about these two fragrances. If you feel I did not say much about this, I've got an in-depth review of it where I have dedicated a video of it, and you can cross-check with that, which I'm going to pin, or which I'm going to put in the description. But this video was mostly about this particular fragrance, right? Test these two. If, for instance, you don't have either. Test these two, because this one meanders a lot. This is so non-linear, and I could swear, guys, at some point I do get something that I get in here from here, something very faint, but it is there. You know, it's something there where that is the reason why I thought to layer them, and I thought, okay, let me see how they go. CeeChronicles is my name. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section where we discuss more about fragrances. Remember to turn on post notifications, guys. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Like and share this one, and remember that smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.